All right, it's going to be charting for tomorrow, Friday. What is this? February 20th tomorrow. So let's get started. Got a daily CSD on YM, but nothing on ES or NQ. So let's just get our typical charting going. And I'm going to remove some of this now that we've moved lower here. So let's just keep it simple like always. Get rid of this. Right, previous day low, previous day high. Get rid of this and this. Level. Um, Find previous day EQ. Okay, but also because we have long wicks on both sides, I also want to measure EQ of just the body and see um, if we get any key levels that line up nicely. So let me just do this. Okay. Um, There's just too much LR right here for me to believe we're gonna. Oh, I'm still in replay. Let me get out of here. Look at that. So we're already using that. Yeah, I do want to measure this just to see. I've been like very ICT-ish with like monitoring levels of sensitivity, but I've been noticing that it has been important areas, confluence sometimes. So okay, that's good. We also supported EQ of the previous week's lower wick previously. So now, even though we're currently in an open high, well, we open low, but we're currently rebalancing right today's candle. Um, we could come down here, bounce, and then take this out, or we're just going to run it out. So I'll keep this right there. And I don't think, but we'll see. We'll see because we only have a CSC here, right? So we could. I'll have to check for SMTs though too. So we'll just leave that there for now. Let's fix this one. We hit previous week rebalance point and have rejected, but we do not have a correct PO3 manipulation here. We don't have any soup. There's no, but on a lower time frame, okay, let's move this, move that, move previous day low over. Let's grab previous day EQ. Okay, and then this body's tiny, so I don't think it's going to matter. Yeah. And then I want to notate and measure. I'm going to do that over here as well. This wick is not really, there's no way YM will reject here first, I believe. So we'll leave that. And then this looks good now. I had it up there. Whatever. Okay. That looks fine now. Because remember, overall, it's easy to forget, but YM, right, is not bearish, right? We're consolidation, change in state, right? Right, look at the weekly, right? This closure, this was, yes, open high, right? PO3 to close lower, rebalanced at EQ. Now, right, this same thing, right? But we have, you know, quite a bit of time left on this weekly candle, so we don't necessarily know that this is going to close bearishly. But even so, for us to have a weekly change in state of delivery for lower, we have to close down here. So even though, it looks like on, right, if we go to the weekly on NQ, right, it doesn't look, it looks a lot worse. We have these two bearish candles, right? We have not, we got these almost relative equal lows down here that really, to be totally honest, could use some manipulation. But the reality is look, okay, this low, right? Let's talk about it real quick because this is interesting. That low is down here, right? Okay, so look on the weekly, and I pointed this out a while ago, but let's find it. If we take this, right? I think that's correct. Let me find it over here. It's this one. No, it's gonna be, yeah, it's this was the previously. Anyways, right? Healthy rebalance on why I'm on the weekly come down here. And then, you know what I mean? So these lows could come. This is not very far. How far is this? That's only 5, 6. That's not very far for NQ. We could totally see manipulation down here, right? SMT and then expansion. So, anyways, it's important to remember where we're at on the higher time frame, because it's easy to. That's why I really like the GXT part about like strength. So only the strongest assets are only NQ and YM, and then the middle asset's always going to be ES. Which so now paying attention to YM is extremely helpful. Okay, let's bang this one out now. Did we take that today? Did oh this guy? This guy really didn't do a lot today. Straight up consolidation. But let's see if we built any structure that looks appetizing. All right, let's see here. So this is something interesting that I've been monitoring, right? Because for me, right, an OB is always here. This OB gets closed above, right? This down close gets closed above. So that's the OB. But what's interesting is look, this right soup down here. So what's funny is like if you measure EQ of this order block, right? And even if you take this low here, right? You can see right bodies here, right? But you can also use this body, right? Because it got manipulated. So anyways, this is so we're resting at EQ of this daily order block on ES, right? You see what I mean? So that's not bearish. Same thing here. Look, if you measure this order block as you would normally, do you see how this EQ looks? We're like floating through it. Okay, but watch this. Look, if you use the bottom here, like this, the correct order block, because this is included, right? Notice what price is now doing. We're resting at EQ above it. This is bullish. This is now bullish, right? This is bullish. So that's what we're paying attention to. So same thing here. We're going to check the order block on the higher time frame that we're consolidating inside of right now, right? To see how price is responding to these levels. We can see here, okay, that even if we want price on NQ and ES to continue to support bullish momentum, right? We can support this EQ, but notice where YM is. YM has not reached EQ. Furthermore, look what's resting right below discount, previous week low. Okay, so now we have three, right, lows, stacked lows, right, resting right above and below EQ of this order block, which is a point of interest for me. Okay, today we got a change in the state of delivery for lower. right? We get these three, these up close gets closed below. We now have an order block, right? Change in state of deliveries. We can retest this overnight and in today, but what the reality is like this looks like we're gonna just flush down, manipulate down here, right? Maybe we'll run lower, but we could support at EQ here and then bounce because that's where we could SMT because look, we could sweep previous day low on all assets and still be at EQ and create manipulation with the weekly low. This looks super juicy. Ooh, this looks good. So because that's what I'm seeing because these are stacked, right? So YM is going to be the leading asset, I would assume. We'll see, but where the strength switching occurs. But we're going to rebalance, I believe. And based on, we'll see. I'm not trying to speculate too much, but it looks really good for lower, depending on what happens. But I would anticipate if we are going to go lower to rebalance to then expand, we will create an SMT with previous week low. I would assume something because this is going to get run out for certain at EQ, and then if we do bounce, we're not going. to We'll end up leaving these, I believe, because this is what 30, and then what's this? But anyways, we'll see what happens. But this looks. This is why it's important to be charting in the evenings so that you have a good place to anticipate price moving to. Because here's the thing, right? Again, we've reached EQ on these two assets, right? Of this overall daily bigger right? This move down here, right? Overall, we've retraced to EQ on NQ and ES, right? But not, in my opinion, on YM. Now, why is that important? Because even though we have a CSD, right? If we come down here to EQ of this order block and we manipulate to then expand this high, right? You can see this high here, okay, will now be the draw because it is now resting right below what? This we're at a discount, we're going to run to a premium, right? So this will be the target, if we do come back to expand, right? But all we care about is what's going to happen in the morning, and we can just watch for that, because we can go down to our 4 hours, and this is where I start to shape and see what's going on. So we've got our levels. Now we'll go down to the 4 hour, okay, and we'll start to see what's going on. So this is EQ of that order block is that dotted line. I know there's a lot on here, but just clean it up a bit. Add stuff up here from today. Okay. So when I start to look here, right, and if I normally was looking on NQ, right, I would say this low looks suspect to me, right? It's unmanipulated, resting in discount, right, of this rate zone right here. However, we did come down and then rebalance. So like this is technically balanced price. So we don't have to because on the higher time frame we are consolidating above EQ. So that's not necessarily true. However, if we look at YM, we can see we're in like a much different looking state, right? We're in straight consolidation, right? And we have absolute LR right here, right? These are being stacked here absolutely intentionally to be run out, right? The question is when, right? And if we look right here, our current daily is opening high, right? It's opening high, okay, which is where's this low? So interesting. So check this out. This low here is this low on YM up here. So this is an SMT low. So this will that's why this is going to be will be the activating level to run lower. So we're in an open high. We're in an open high. Look at this. We got a 4 hour OB right here, bearish OB. Um, and we're hitting previously. That OB is up here on YM. I want to annotate this because, okay, cool. So anyways, and also what we could do is we could run, yeah, well, this is exactly what I think is going to happen. We're going to rebalance, then we're going to take these out. We're either going to continue lower or we're going to SMT.